you. Eric, Mr. Pearl, thank you. Okay, we're ready, Director.
Okay. So the stuff I haven't seen before are the hurricane plan progress report. I'm okay with not getting an update on the safety plan progress report at this time, if that's okay. I am COVID extension. We've gone through that. The COVID vaccine and the employee purchase program, home purchase program.
Yes.
If we focus on those, that'd be great. And then I can go.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Hall, if you just do the hurricane plan progress report.
That'll do. Okay, here are the updates. As I indicated, it is an organic document, so we're constantly in a state of revision. Some of the things that we've gotten since we last spoke was we've gotten the actual MOU with the Crossroads Community Church updated. It now has Larry Ragland's name as the interim CEO. We did take another visit up to the location in Statesboro, and it was confirmed that the church will be able to facilitate all of our vehicles, plus up to 80 CAT personnel. So that would mean drivers and some of their family members would be able to stay at the church. The only deficiency that the church has is that it has no showering facilities. I have identified a staging area coordinator. So in the event we do have to mobilize and move all of our assets to Statesboro, we have somebody who will be there on site to manage the process once we are there, and that individual will stay there for the duration while our buses are there and our personnel is there.
Is that person the staging director? Is that a CAT person or is that somebody there? Okay.
Yes.
Great.
I've also identified 2 CAT personnel that will serve as our SEMA liaison. So they will be actually in the command center, helping to direct activities. One of the issues that we found with the plan is that initially individuals or employees were given cash disbursements in the event there was a mobilization to take care of incidentals. We're moving away from that, and we're looking at trying to get a transit-specific or transportation-specific credit card, like through ComData, that will enable us to purchase fuel and or have any repairs made on the road. We were also able to identify our operational needs in terms of personnel, how many people we need to help assist with the buses. We actually have a list of people. We have 21 people who have already signed up. They're aware of the expectations associated with moving buses from Savannah to Statesboro. In the event we don't have enough people that actually shows up as a result of COVID, for example, we'll use an inverted seniority list. So the most recent hires will then be volunteered to help assist with the movement of the buses. One other thing that we did kind of shore up is that CAT will not be asked by SEMA to help move people from Savannah to another location or shelter out of Chatham County. They have
You will not.
Right, will not.
That never was the case.
In the past, they have assisted with that, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to find out from SEMA what our expectations would be in the event of an evacuation. All we have to do is utilize our fixed route stops to bring people in, and paratransit will help get them into the Civic Center as well. But again, it is an emergency situation. I was told that can be subject to change. But in the event that it does, we'll track all of our expenses associated and we'll definitely be reimbursed.
That makes sense. I think the most important thing we can do in an emergency, God forbid, is just be as flexible as we can.
That's all.
I think that's a good idea. I just kind of what piqued my interest was moving from cash to credit cards. That's probably just smart. List of people signing up. How many people does it take to? So that list, those are people who will be moving people into the core, into the Civic Center or wherever it's at. Is that what that list is for? What is that?
So
what are they?
That list is specific for the operators who will be moving buses from CAT facilities to our Statesboro facilities.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Great. That sounds great. Yeah, I think I've remembered that happening before. Thankfully, it is infrequent.
Yes.
Cool. Anything else?
That's it. Any questions?
I'm good. Great. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, I'll move right into the proposed agenda items. With the COVID-19 vaccine incentive program. As you know, I presented this to the board initially in an email, I think it was dated August 23rd, about the collaboration between the entities. So they did move forward. I did ask when they announced that they were going to decide on the amount of $500. I asked if it could make the press release and omit the monetary value of the incentive so that Chatham Area Trans would have an opportunity to make their own decision, but they decided to move forward with submitting the $500 fees. Incentive. So we were kind of stuck with that, but we know internally, staff does recognize that none of this is passed by the board yet, that the implementation of this incentive will be contingent on approval during the board meeting. Although the information is out there, and I'm aware that there have been press releases made, and Chatham Area Transit has been shown as a supporter of the collaboration, but we also recognize that we need to move forward with approval first from our board before we can implement any of this.
Ms. Ragland, I saw you at the county commission meeting. I thought you did a very great job.
Thank you.
Pat.
Thank you.
I am a big fan of this program. I mean, I think that $500 that is reimbursable out of our general slush fund that we don't even really, not our slush fund, our reserves
Funds.
is, sort of doing the calculus of like, okay, $500. I mean, it's a gamble, it's a risk, but what we're asking for is, what the calculus is $500 per employee, more or less than the cost of disruption moving forwards. And I think it's probably equal, if not less. So I think it's and also the spirit of the thing, I think, is important too. I was interested to see, I think, Director O'Halloran's concerns as to how this can be impacted by Biden's mandate. But what Andrew had said about the 75-day thing, I think that's solid. I also think we're just in good company with the city and the county, and
The school board.
And the school board.
Yes.
I think it has happened quickly. Absolutely, I would definitely say that.
Yes.
Even 3 weeks for something like this is very fast.
It's very fast. Yes.
That's okay, and sometimes that's sort of necessary. I do understand that puts staff and especially you, Ms. Ragland, in kind of a funky position with sort of like what we're just the this isn't a new position anybody's been aware of, but the park in front of the horse situation. But I am definitely supportive of it. I don't know what else I can do other than that.
Right.
That's all
Well, I did want to share with you as well that all entities have engaged with Coastal Care Partners as a third party to make the verifications on those vaccines. So they'll actually enter a website. Each employee for each entity will enter their individual websites. They will give them permission to, or give them consent to verify their vaccinations. So we will not be involved in that at all.
My only recommendation, and maybe this could be something that Chairman Cody could discuss with you, is we should do this sooner than later. If everybody's up to speed on it, I think we should have an emergency meeting and vote on this as soon as possible. I don't see why we should wait until the 24th. That's a while from now. And that puts the whole, it doesn't necessarily put the whole thing at risk, but it allows for holes in the news and press release that won't be helpful for any of the entities that are involved, not just CAT, but everybody. And so I think if we can move faster, I don't really see a reason why we can't. I'm down for that.
All right. Okay, I'll speak to the chairman about that.
Yeah, I mean, the 24th is like, God, is that next week?
And I
Next,
think it's, I don't think the 24th is the correct date. I think it's the 28th.
even more to my point.
Yes. And we are actually in staff and I are actually working on a plan so that we can implement this. The county initially said that they were going to allow 90 days for employees to vaccinate. The city is doing 60 days, and we think we can do it within 30 days because we don't have the number of employees that they do. So we don't think we need that long. We can do it within 30 days. We're trying to see how we're going to distribute the checks. Will it be part of the regular payroll? Will it be a separate check? You know, because there'll be taxes to be considered.
of course.
The city is grossing up, so they are actually giving more than the $500. So that when the employees receive it, they'll actually receive $500. But I don't think that we're going to be in a position to do that. So it will be taxed with the necessary taxes for each employee. So we in staff internally, we are working out a plan to implement this, just in case it's approved, and we hope that it will be.
Do we know of any other transit agencies or other just government agencies or entities that are doing an incentive program like this?
We've been doing some research. We have found one or two that we're making contact with.
Okay.
We also want to, after the 30 days has expired, we also want to put in place perhaps a mandate to vaccinate or test every week. So those are discussions that we're having internally.
Well, on that, isn't that already going to happen? Isn't that already part of the course due to the Biden thing?
To the Biden, his announcement did make that clear, but it's at least 75 days out, at least. But those are just discussions that we're having. We won't be able to present to the board the complete plan until we know what the direction of the board is.
I am very interested to see how this goes. I think it is coming from a very good place. So I'm supportive of it. I also, I think also, part of this pandemic has just been, this just like different groups trying different things to see what works. And so I think if we can try this here, we're not hurting anybody. It's not a horrible, horrible idea. I think it's a pretty simple $500 incentive to get the vaccine. And it could definitely help us out. And I of course you guys are going to do this, but tracking how people get the vaccine or tracking when people get the vaccine, I'd be really interested to see when that is. I'm not sure if we can even see that kind of information. If that's, if I think what could be a really cool piece of information, if you could present this, would be a graph of the number of people who've gotten vaccinated by day or by week since vaccines were available for people working at CAT. That might not be legal, but it would be very interesting to look at and see, did a lot of people get it up front? Did a lot of people get it after a couple of months? And how has this incentive talked about it? I was in the Facebook Live from the county and from the city meeting as well. A lot of people were confused as to whether or not people who were already vaccinated would get the vaccine. And I think you just need to clear that up
Yes.
as much as possible. Because any way that people can get it confused, people are going to get it confused.
But I do think the release said that people who have already been vaccinated do qualify.
I would just say it all day.
Okay. I understand. Yes, sir. And that's about it on the incentive for vaccinations.
Okie dokie. Tell me about this employee home program.
Well, the employee home purchase program was introduced to me by the City of Savannah's Housing Services, and Anita Dixon Smith is going to present to the board at the regularly scheduled board meeting an opportunity for Chatham Area Transit to assist those eligible employees who might qualify for this program with down payment assistance. So she just wanted to present, they currently have a partnership with St. Joseph Candler and a couple of other agencies that are assisting their employees. And she just wanted to make the presentation to the CAT board to see if they might be interested.
Who is this from?
The city of Savannah.
Anita?
Oh, Anita Dixon Smith.
Okay, I think I've met her.
Yes.
So, cool. I mean, that sounds great.
Yes, sir. Everybody won't be eligible. There are certain guidelines, of course, as with any other program, but for those who are interested in purchasing and do qualify for this program, this may be an opportunity for CAT to help them with down payment assistance. And of course, there are certain criteria that has to be followed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, sir. And that's all. That's all we have.
Okay.
Oh, I do want to mention to you and Director Lockett, I think he's on, that there are some other agenda items that we may be bringing to the governance meeting. We are awaiting some confirmations on specific details, so we didn't want to present them today. But if we do have those details by Wednesday, we would like to present them on the governance agenda. And we're going to try to get that information to each board member before Wednesday, so you can consider it.
Thank you, and I hear you.
All right, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Director Lockett, do you have any questions, comments on any of the agenda items?
Yes, I would like to just go back and just say this. We were talking about the, I guess I would call it the cash incentives.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think it would be very good for this board, this committee, to just make a statement saying that we agree with it, and that would be more encouraging once we go before the board. Let them know today that we have a consensus on it, and I'm very much for it.
I think that's a great idea. Is that something? How do we do that?
If we just agree on it, if we can agree on it where we are, and you pass it on to the chairman that this committee has, this committee endorses it.
That's
I will
correct.
that email to. I'll send that email to Beverly, Valerie, and Cody. And if you and I agree,
Well, what it would do, it would make it seem like it's not a one-person thing; it's our thing.
Yes.
From the
That's
committee.
very helpful. Thank you.
then I agree. And Bobby and yourself.
Hey, I agree.
All right, sounds good. Then I'm typing that up right now, and I think we're done.
All right. That's all we have, sir.
Cool, fun meeting. All right, I'll talk to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have
All
a good day.
Bye-bye.